Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this from XRP Soul 2025. XRP Soul 2025, Asia's largest XRP Web3 conference, taking place during Korea Blockchain Week. This is going to happen on September 21st, 2025, and it's hosted by XRP Ledger Korea, sponsored by Ripple, Doppler, Decent, Nature's Miracle, Axelar, and Gearin Wallet. And look at some of the names on there. Binance, Tenity. I mean, this is going to be one of those events where big things are talked about. Maybe even more partnerships will happen at this event. The next big event after that is Ripple Swell. Ripple Swell is our most important event of the year, and this November it returns to New York City. Swell is where leaders in crypto, payments, banking, and policy come together to discuss what's ahead for the future of finance. One thing about Ripple Swell this time around, it also coincides with ISO 222 going live in November. People could downplay that all they want. What it is it's a brand new messaging standard. But the difference is digital assets can be utilized inside of those ISO messages. What are you invested in? A digital asset. It's going to bring value to some of these cryptocurrencies. And everybody always says there's nothing happening on the XRP ledger. The XRP ledger's dead. Well, this comes from Tokenizer. Recent Ripple XRP ledger growth. Chain analysis. Adds support for XRP ledger tokens. SBI working to expand RLUSD to Japan. BBVA signs MOU for Ripple custody. Chipper in collab with VALR for RLUSD in Africa. Gemini launches rewards card with XRP cash back. Thunes adds real-time payments after Ripple partnership. From RLUSD continuing to expand in use across the globe to big names like BBVA and Thunes coming on board, growth's consistent and expanding as always on Ripple. The XRP ledger is non-stop growing. The people that are saying that it's dead are the people that were getting paid to talk about projects that were on the XRP ledger that just died off over time. The XRP ledger is geared towards enterprise and institutional adoption. It's not geared towards projects that come and go, that aren't solid projects to begin with. It's always non-stop growth with Ripple. If you hold XRP, analyst says to strap in. I always tell you to strap in. But they're citing that the bull rally has resumed. They also cite ETFs as well in this article. But it's going to be so massive. I mean, anybody buying XRP today is still going to get a great return on investment. People think that if you buy XRP above $3, you're not going to make money. You are absolutely going to make money. Don't listen to these people that are saying the top in this cycle is going to be $6 to $7. Those people are totally wrong. We're going to hit 2 digits quicker than people think. And this comes from Paul Barron. Why the Atkins Ecb meeting could be the most bullish crypto development of 2025. 1. SEC's Project Crypto plus EU's MiCA framework equals regulatory harmony. You cannot have different regulations going from one country to another. The US and the EU are going to have very similar regulations. Same thing with every other country. 2, no more compliance nightmares for global crypto firms. 3, super app exchanges can now operate seamlessly across borders. 4, 99% of stablecoins are USD denominated, but the EU wants digital euro integration. 5, result, massive institutional adoption wave incoming as regulatory uncertainty evaporates. That was a very big meeting. That shows you where we're going to go from here. But this was destined to happen. Remember Brad sitting with Christine Lagarde right here? And Brad also meeting with the president last year, meeting with the president before he was even the president. And then look at all the people that are speaking at Ripple Swell this time around. You know, you could see where Ripple's going by the company that they keep. The meetings that Brad has with other people. He always gets a seat at the biggest tables in the world. But Paul Atkins knew all along. Take a listen to this clip and watch his reaction at the end of the clip when he says big things are riding on Ripple.
A brick wall at the SEC in a lot of this area, so that has not changed much. There's the lawsuit against Ripple, over whether or not XRP, the Ripple coin, is a security or not. We'll see how that goes. We may well have a decision on that at the lowest court, the district court, this year, and I'm sure whichever way that comes out, there will be appeals, and it could go all the way up to the Supreme Court. There's one, there's maybe a 60, 70-year-old decision called Howey that the Supreme Court issued that kind of sets out what's an investment contract and gives the criteria by which, a court could judge that. That's quite old. It's arguable whether or not it's still current. And I could see the Ripple case, maybe ultimately, if it goes all the way up, to have the Supreme Court really re-examine that for, its coherence in the current environment and whether it needs to be tweaked. So a lot of things riding on that. So that's like a really interesting thing to follow in this.
Take notice, a lot of things riding on that. Paul Atkins knew back then that Ripple was the future. And take notice how he talked about the Howey test more or less being irrelevant when it comes to digital assets. Paul Atkins was placed there to get us into the new financial system. He knew the game plan from day one. 20 million RLUSD minted at RLUSD Treasury. We are going to see a lot more momentum for RLUSD as well. It's already getting integrated all around the world. It's going to move into the top 5, and it's eventually going to take the #1 spot as the #1 stablecoin. You're going to see XRP as the #1 cryptocurrency because it's eventually going to take Bitcoin's spot. It's going to flip Bitcoin. It's just a matter of time. But RLUSD will also be the #1 stablecoin. Bitcoin for the last decade has been like sitting through all those commercials in a movie theater before the movie starts. Usually, I've already eaten most of my popcorn by the time the movie starts. The real show starts soon, the XRP show, and this time I have plenty of popcorn. That comes from Digital Asset Investor. But take a listen to this, because she doesn't talk about Bitcoin. She talks about other cryptocurrencies.
Cboe is building when it comes to digital assets. We're talking about Bitcoin and Ether now. But where are you looking outside of the products that you are already offering and the ones that you're awaiting regulatory approval on, like this one?
Yeah, you can imagine that when we get, I'm going to be optimistic here, when we get regulatory approval, this methodology has application to additional products as well. You might think Ripple, Solana, name your underlying token. This could be extensible to other digital assets. It could also be extensible to other types of assets as well. So, we're trying to just get these first two over the line, and I think you'll see us innovate quite quickly.
And that was coming from the head of the derivatives. They all know it's no longer Bitcoin. All the adults in the room know this is now beyond Bitcoin. But all over X and all over the mainstream media news, they got to keep the focus on Bitcoin because people still need to cash out their bags. And now the OGs are waking up and they're cashing out their Bitcoin at the same time. Announcement, XRP Vault APR update, 3.2%. The latest yield distribution has been released, and this week's yield was approximately 3.2% APR. The reason I wanted to talk about this is because I mentioned earning off of your XRP in a video yesterday. And there's a lot of people out there pushing like 8, 10, 12, 8% APR. That comes with a very high risk. When you're talking about 3.2% APR, that's much lower risk of you losing your assets, losing your XRP. But I'm waiting until we see the risk-free options that the institutions are going to open up. I think that's going to come in the near future. And if we were to go back to the bear market and we were able to earn yield off of our XRP, could you imagine how much XRP people would have earned from all the way back in 2022, 2021, up until now? Earning off of your XRP is an absolute game changer. But you take notice how if there's no demand for XRP, right? Why are all these companies, why are all these projects wanting to open up APR for XRP? It's because they already know there's demand for this cryptocurrency. Even the companies that are creating XRP treasuries, they want to lock that XRP away. They want to earn yield off that XRP. That's why a lot of those companies are also going to be working with Flare. The options are going to be endless for XRP holders because the institutions are going to be very eager to get things going once they enter this space. We're still early when it comes to earning off of your XRP. But we're not that early, not as early as people think. People always said, by the time we become our own bank and by the time we could put our crypto to work for us, it's going to be like 2035. It's already coming together in real time. Everything that people predicted for like 2040 and 2050, it's all happening now. The fourth industrial revolution is happening right now. People don't even realize that it's happening. Could you imagine never investing into crypto and just going through your day-to-day, not knowing that all this is building in the background? That's another good thing about being a crypto investor. It opens up your eyes to what's going on in the world. Big things are happening while everyone is distracted. But it all ends with us getting rich in the end. And until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.